All right, magic makers. I hope you are having a fabulous day. And I want to start this podcast about, how do we make our workouts more effective? And I say this because I've heard so many things, and it's been a conversation that I've, been having with many of you about your workouts. And so I know that for me, when it comes to working out, we have this philosophy that it's like go big or go home, that you got to hustle for that muscle, like train dirty while eating clean. And, I don't know what other phrases that you've heard. I'd love for you to reach out to me and let me know what the other phrases that you've heard. And I know that I was a card carrying member of the Go Big or Go Home Club. My workouts had to be at least 2 hours for them to count. It had to be body part splits, back, chest and abs, legs, shoulders, abs, arms, and some type of full body functional workout. And cardio had to be at least 1 hour or until I burned 400 calories, right? And if I didn't have time to get all that stuff done, I would have to go back to the gym after work. And I kept up with this pace for almost 10 years. I mean, cringe, 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 cringe. I was always exhausted. I was anxious, wondering, did I do enough to keep my gains? I was obsessed with how I looked in the mirror, and I was so outside of my body that I never heard it screaming as I beat it into submission, right? I was always wondering, what more could I be doing? I was never giving my body anything in return. I just, other than a big slap upside the head to say like, come on, do more. I felt that rest days were for the weak. Or if I did take a rest day, it was hot yoga, or I did some type of 30-minute interval out on the track. I went to a spin class. Like that was my rest. And I was really at my wit's end, and I didn't realize that there was a different way. Like this was just the way that was always presented to me. I lived in the bodybuilding world, and that was what you do. Like, if you want this, you got to go hard. And at the time, I was a group fitness director. And one of my instructors, she was like, hey, Kim, I want to bring this new class to the gym. And, it's 30 minutes. And I know we have a lot of members who, full-time employees, and they're like, they don't have the time. They don't have, most people don't have the hour to come down either for a workout or whatever. Can I, introduce this class? And she handed me this book, and I was like, all right, I'll read it. You're right. We do need these, short, effective workouts for our members. Not that I didn't need that. Other people did it. So she came to me, I read the book, and it was just a very new way of working out in an efficient, effective way to get a quick workout. And I was skeptical. So of course, like before I do anything, I got to try it myself, right? Because I can't be an endorser of a program, or, someone will come to me like, hey, Kim, what do you think of this new workout? Is it going to work? What do you think? Blah, blah. I need to be able to experience it for myself so that I can explain it. But I also need to be able to tell my members, or my clients, like, hey, yeah, it's worth your time. Because I'm one of those people, I don't like wasting my time. So I'm not going to do something that is a flippin' time waster. So as I'm like, kind of wrestling with I'm exhausted, but I feel like I need these 2-hour workouts in order to keep my gains. One of my mentors said this phrase, and it just was like, me, I'm a coconut to the head. He said, easy is earned. Right. And so in my head, I was buying into the I must, when he's like, Kim, easy's earned. Right. I can't just, start up on a Monday and expect by Friday that I'm going to have everything I want. Right. And, talk about it. We ain't Amazon Prime, Friday ain't my Prime day. And Monday's not the day I place the order. So instead of thinking that every workout had to be about my PR and lifting a Buick, I had to approach a workout with, could I do this for the rest of my life? Working out didn't need to feel like a chore. And that's how I felt. Like working out felt like I pretty much took the joy out of working out. I just sucked the fun right out of my workout. So by reading this book, I was like, you know what? It made my workouts, it helped me to make the tweaks in my workout so that they became effective, one, and enjoyable again. And if that's how you're feeling right now, and you needed someone like me to give you permission, like, here's your permission slip, my queens. I'm giving you the permission, have a listen, and let's boost the effectiveness of your training sessions so that you don't always feel like so beat up, or you're so beat up that you just, you run hard for a while and then you like stop, or you run hard and then you stop. Like, let's just start to figure out. So the first place I want to go is, let's stick with the basics, right? The basics work. And, especially now there's so much noise coming at us that we got to do all the crazy things. And so one of the biggest misconceptions is that you think that you have to do all these like new fancy workouts, and, every, I think, workout infomercial, it's always talking about muscle confusion, right? We got to confuse our muscles. Well, it's they say it as a way to push your body towards progress, right? And so you're doing supersets, you're doing drop sweats, you're not resting, you're running around like a crazy person. And let's be honest, like, sure, those things have a place in an overall fitness program, but doing them willy-nilly will not get you results faster, right? Truth be told, there's nothing more effective than the basics: compound exercises done with heavy weights consistently over time. Let me repeat that. Heavy weights done consistently over time. That's where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck, right? It's not that I can do insanity for 30 days or whatever the calendar is, but what happens on day 31, day 29, whatever the program is, what happens on that day? Can I keep up that pace? That's the question I always ask my clients, is like, can I keep up that pace? And let me tell you, after 10 bleeping years, my body was like giving me the finger and telling me to go jump in the river. So in this new workout, the focus was on full body exercises that I could do 3 to 5 days a week. And a good workout includes so these are like the 5 basic movements that I do in my body: a pulling exercise, a pushing exercise, a hinge type exercise, a squat exercise, and some type of core element, right? Those are the 5 pieces of a workout. And a true program that's developed for you versus these willy-nilly things that I find on social media, on Pinterest, on Beachbody. A true program has linear periodization, right? That's fancy talk for there is a beginning and an end of the workout. And so for many people, a periodization can go anywhere from 12 to 15 weeks, okay? So that means there's a period of time that I'm lifting heavier weights with less reps and sets. And there's a period of time that I'm lifting lighter weights with more reps, more sets, right? And so I kind of like undulate through this to, challenge my muscle, not to confuse them, but to give it a challenge, so that sometimes we're doing some type of endurance work, we're doing some type of strength work, we're doing some type of powerful workout. But it's all, I know for me, when I design my workouts, I'm looking at making sure that my clients, one, stay healthy, they have great joint mobility, but they're able to take these pieces of workout and transfer to everyday life. The biggest thing I always say, I was recently on a plane and I was pulling my bag from the overhead compartment, and I literally pulled that thing down and was out the door. And the woman came up behind me, after, and she's like, "You did that really effortlessly." Yeah, because I think of it as like a reverse snatch, right? I'm pulling that thing out of the drop and dropping it down. Like, that's what I do, right? It's not this like pull, strain, right? I'm using things, applicable things from the gym in my everyday life. And so those are the types of things that I include in my workout. So a true program, so like I said, a true program, we are doing, we're having these like heavy weeks, we're having these lighter weeks, then we're having what are called deload weeks. These are weeks where like, the intensity is very low because we're about to go back up into a heavy period of work. And I know for many people, they think, oh, I got to go heavy all the time, heavy all the time, heavy all the time. No, we have to start listening to our bodies. And, I've done several podcasts and 2 that stick out for me on overtraining and the detrimental effect that it had on people. Loss of periods, they went from like crazy workouts to like truly like binging and purging because they couldn't, their bodies were just craving so much food. So I will post those in the show notes so that you can kind of, if you're like, yeah, I don't know if this is me. I really want you to listen to those because I really want you to think about like finding that happy medium, and which leads into, right, we're looking to train at the right intensity. So yes, heavy weights are critical. And, if anyone here listening has ever taken a class with me, if I look over and you're like, throwing the weights up like you could do it all day, I'm like, go fish, right? Or I come over to you with the next set up. So the most critical factor in us getting the results that we want is that we have to choose our weight properly. Many people think about time versus thinking about the intensity, right? We think about, oh, I need to go to the gym for X period of time in order to get results, versus when I go to the gym, what is the intensity that I bring? And that is, are you lifting heavy weights? And the challenge is to get into the gym, get in, get done, no mussing about. Right. That's the challenge. And, a good friend of mine calls this dead plus 3. And I absolutely love it because he'll say like you're trying to lift 10 reps. When I get to 7, those last 3 reps should feel challenging, but doable with good form. Okay. So like if I'm doing a bicep curl, I shouldn't be swinging all over the place trying to get those last 3 reps. Right. So if I can get to 7 and they don't feel very challenging, then I need to go back to the weight and pick up a heavier weight that I can get to that 7th rep. I will go 8th rep and the last few feel challenging, but doable. Now, like I said, if I can get to, that I get to that 7th rep and it doesn't feel that way, I add more weight. If I get to that 7th rep and it feels super sonically heavy, then I drop my weight. But that's how I gauge that. And, pretty much I'd say 4 to 6-ish weeks, give yourself that test. If you're just whipping through your workout and your weights don't feel challenging, you're going to be challenged to change your body. And so it's by intensity, it's all about, lifting that heavy weight. So one, we're increasing our maximum strength, but let's be honest, many of us want to lose weight by looking at that damn scale. But instead of the scale, we want to really get tighter. And the best way I know how to describe this is a beach ball and a baseball, right? We've all seen that beach ball. That beach ball is this big thing. And the baseball is this rock hard thing. And so the scale, if I put the beach ball on the scale, it's going to be lighter for sure, right? And if I put a baseball on the scale, it's going to be heavier. But if I asked you, which one would you rather look like? Would you rather look like the beach ball or the baseball? You would tell me you want to look like the baseball. And so in order to look like the baseball, I have to have muscle. In order to have muscle, I have to lift heavy. And as those of you who are listening to me over 40, we lose anywhere from 3 to 5% of our muscle just by natural aging. So we are fighting a freaking uphill battle. Like we're salmon swimming upstream. So for my older ladies, lift some heavy stuff or go to a week in Florida and look at what happens when you don't have muscle, right? That's coming for you if we don't start paying attention to that stuff right now. All right. So as we talk about intensity, what does that look like, right? What does that look like? And so here are four things to take into account when I'm trying to figure out, am I working out at the right intensity for me? At some point, do I feel breathless? Now, I want you to think about the breathlessness that you feel like if you were doing like a full out sprint. If you've ever run for your gate at the airport, like, do I feel breathless? And that can happen lifting weights, right? That can, if I've chosen the right set of weights, that can happen. Do I feel any burning? So that means, do I feel my muscles burning at any point? Does it mean my muscles are burning the entire workout? No. At some point throughout whatever the exercise I've chosen, do I feel any type of burning? Does the weight feel heavy, right? Going back to that dead plus 3. And do I feel heat? Am I sweating? Not that sweat is the ultimate to decide if a workout is something, because trust me, if that was my workout, like if I wasn't sweating like a pig, like why do it? That's why so many of you are attracted to spin, hot yoga, because it gives you that like the endorphin push, because oh my God, I'm like a sweaty mass, right? But I'm just saying, like, do I feel hot in my body, including sweat, right? So if I'm feeling those 4 things, I'm done. I've done my job. Check the box. Okay. Because when we change for intensity, we take the fluff out of the workouts, right? We're not here for the like the glamour shot. We're here to like get in, get out, no messing about. So let's be honest, right? Like I said, we want that nice hard body. And if we bring that intensity to the game, we are going to get that nice hard body in less time. So for those of you guys who are time strapped and 2 hours just ain't gonna cut it no more, right? You got kids, you got a job, you got aging parents, you got other responsibilities than you had in your 20s and 30s. Listen up, right? Because in my 7 days to recharge challenge, we are going to take a deep dive into how this type of workout is more efficient and effective for you so that you can get your stuff done. So stay tuned by hopping on the wait list. You can grab the link. In the show notes. All right. So the next piece here is rest more. Now, I get it. This one was a hard thing for me. And if you go to the gym, you see these people like doing all the various exercises, restlessly, right? Where they're moving from place to place to place as fast as they humanly can. But what most people forget is that training at an intensity, it's demanding, it's strenuous for both the muscles and your nervous system. So it means that we need to rest, right? So we're pushing up a lot of weight right now. We're lifting heavy weights, hopefully with quality. And we need to shift to our mantra to be push when I can, rest when I can, right? So if I do get to that 7th rep and I got nothing left in the tank, catch my breath, shake it out, come back in, right? Because I want you going, the way I set up my workouts, you're going back and forth between 2 weights, 2 different exercises, just trying to get you through as fast as possible, or you're doing a big circuit. But with that said, we're setting a timer. So say the timer is set for 20 minutes, and we're like, how many rounds can you get in 20 minutes? Sometimes I just need to take a break, right? So that I can get that good form. Maybe the break's 30 seconds, maybe the break's a minute, however, whatever the intensity that you bring, but we shift it to you so that you are able to push with the same intensity, but not lose the form. And so that we're working with purpose versus scrolling through the socials or chatting with a friend or just, lollygagging between our sets. And so, this is like the rest while we're actually doing the workout. But then I'm talking about rest days. And I was the queen of like, that's for weak people. I don't need a rest day, right? And like I said, it's not hot yoga, it's not spin. I fell into a trap big time. And I felt like I had to keep moving all the damn time. And so, one of the things that, really struck me, and maybe it'll strike you, is being busy versus being productive, right? Are your workouts keeping you busy, or are they actually producing results? And I got to tell you, if I want you to ask yourself, like, have I seen any results in the last 6 months, year, doing what I'm doing? Hard question, right? So here's where I got to get clear about what it is I'm trying to achieve. And then I also have to have the courage to say, dang, what I'm doing ain't working. So am I willing to do something different to get a different result? Right? So look yourself in the mirror. If what you're doing is getting you the results that you want, rock on with your bad self, sister. If it is not, do you have the courage to try to do something different? Right? That's all I ask. Because rest days help you to become more effective. Your workouts become more effective, right? Because depending on the training volume, your muscles need anywhere from 48 to 96 hours of rest period. And, and I'm talking like at 96 is like, you're at that, like, those elite athletes, right? You're training for this crazy powerlifting competition and you're just moving crazy weight, or training for a strongman competition, or, doing, the CrossFit Open happens every spring, right? So you're doing, getting ready for that. And, or maybe you're training for the games. I don't know. Or maybe you're training for a fitness or bikini competition, right? So you're pushing hard, but I always challenge you that you need minimum 48 hours of rest a week so that we are in the ballpark of a good recovery. I know this whole episode was all about intensity during the workout, but you also need the rest, giving your body an opportunity to catch up with all the awesome work that you're doing, right? I want you to think about your cell phone. So many of us would never think to go a full day without plugging our cell phone. And if we missed a day of plugging our cell phone. Our cell phone, will be, give us that low battery warning. That's it, warning. Our bodies do that too, but many of us, we push that out. We're like, oh, shut up, you don't know. I'm our ego is like, shut up, body. I am the boss of you. I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm more badass than you, right? And we don't give ourselves that opportunity. So, how many rest days should you have? So if you're coming in off of a long layoff, like you just haven't been like consistent with your workouts, I challenge you to do 3 to 4 days, right? Don't think you're going to come back after a layoff and say, I'm working out 6 days a week and I'm going hard, because your body's going to punch you in the face. So here's what I say, challenge yourself, like give yourself 3 to 4 days to recover, so that you're working out anywhere from 2 to 3 days, so that you have the recovery, so you're not feeling sore and defeated. If you're currently working out and you're working out 4 to 5 days a week, then take 2 days off. And if you're training for a specific event, maybe you have 1 day off. Maybe you're following a specific training protocol. But I would work with that coach and be like, girl, I can't work out every day. And if you're working with me, regardless of what you're doing, I'm always going to encourage you to have at least 1 full day off, right? So there's a difference between active recovery and full rest days. So pure rest days is that I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing things in my life, right? Maybe I'm playing with my kids. Maybe I'm playing with my dog or any other animal that you might have. But that's a rest day. Active recovery days is that, maybe I purposely go for a walk, but it's not a power walk. I'm not trying to break a sweat. I'm not strapping weights to my ankles or my arms. Like I'm just going out in nature, taking like, maybe I'm doing active daily living. Like maybe I like to garden. I can't think of any other hobby that requires movement, but any other hobby that requires movement, but not like killer movement. Maybe you're doing yoga, but it's not hot yoga. It's like a more of a gentle yoga. You're foam rolling, you're doing mobility work, right? This is like, that's more of an active recovery. Rest days are like pure, like you're just, maybe you're reading, maybe it is a stroll. Maybe you're soaking in some vitamin D, getting out in nature. But last but not least, like, you want these rest days to make your workouts effective, right? Your body repairs during this rest and recovery, right? You break down the muscle, and during your rest days, your muscle starts to like knit back together. And because we're doing these strong weighted workouts, they are demanding on your body. And so your body needs the time to adapt and come back stronger. All right. So I'm hoping this is all making sense to you. And I hope that I've given you some new ideas onto how to work out, how to make your workouts, more efficient and effective. And remember, if this style of workout doesn't work for you, don't give up. This is about an experiment, right? To see how it works. But remember, experiments have beginnings and ends, and you have to be clear about your objective, like what are you trying to achieve, and be patient to see this through to the end. Now, if you want to take a deeper dive, I've written a whole blog post all about this. I'll link it up so you guys can take a deeper dive. And I've also, created a 7-day challenge that's going to be kicking off in a few weeks here. So you can hop on the wait list. You can start to, work with me to go through this different style of learning to see how I can get a great workout in about 20 to 30 minutes and still feel really good and still go on with my day and not feel like I can't shampoo my hair the next day or pull myself off of the toilet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to hear how this is landing with you. So feel free to reach out to me on the socials. If you know someone who needs to hear about this, screenshot this episode and tag them, and be sure to tag me as well. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.